Hello, beautiful and slightly nosy Virgo. Thank you very much, Paulina here, talking to you about your exceptionally promising, beautiful, fruitful, fertile, and maybe slightly strange month of February. So we have to really understand that this is not the same as other months of Aquarius. This is not just about picking and choosing and deciding. This is not a simplified formula for life as it has been for maybe many years. I don't feel that you have to now accentuate anything within you. You don't have to pull out the rabbit from the hat. Basically, don't be nosy. That's the main thing that I can tell you guys. So here are some tarot cards. I will be doing a tarot card reading after I do this reading for Virgos, and this will be available on Patreon if you'd like to see it. Okay, so first I'd like to just talk about you. Nosiness. Where is the action? Where is it at? Who's got the latest thing? You know, like, where are the people at? What are they doing? Who's got this? Who's got that? Trying to spy on your ex online, trying to be amongst people, getting into the crowd and being there for the wrong reasons, being tempted by nosiness, being tempted by radicalism, or wanting to suddenly express something very deep from the bottom of your heart, which might actually be a maturity. So, for example, going to radical parties and gigs, wanting to show off, wanting to show somebody what pleasure is, wanting to show somebody what love is, wanting to change someone's life, wanting to be radical. That can be very, very easy during this time, showing up, showing the truth, being aromatic, strong, angular. Sometimes can lead you to a very strange fate, and faith in yourself. So basically, it feels to me that you can easily try and hop identities here. It feels to me that Virgos are going very strongly towards the new cutting edge. I feel that also within a Virgo there is a lot of pride and achievement, or arrogance for funny things. Like, for example, yeah, I just chugged down this whole jug of beer. Yeah, or like, yeah, I just slept with 2 guys this week, you know. There's also this interesting radiance actually that takes over, as you might suddenly not care about what your mum's done, you might not care what your dad has taught you, you might suddenly be way out of your family line, and it could also show you a greater truth of you, or a greater system of freedom. But at the same time, as you are looking for this way to be free, I feel that you're putting yourself into a box. So, for example, running away from home, being together with a person that you don't want to be with, having sex with somebody else, drinking, ruckus behavior, or collections, control. Okay, there has to be a level of control and sophistication and depth about this time. So I know it's probably not very important for you right now, and it might not sound very interesting. I'm just going to try and balance this out. So, for example, if you are interested in doing something or talking about something or creating something in excess, try to see why you might want to perhaps not. Try to talk yourself out of radicalism. Make yourself open to the idea that you don't have to teach yourself through these means. Addiction, drama, nosiness, wanting to be in and amongst the crowd, being packed with friends, packed with numbers, or just being packed up yourself into somebody else's bag. Being somebody else's handbag here is likely. But the thing here to do is basically try and talk yourself out of any type of situation where you think you are gaining freedom or you're regaining joy and satisfaction, where actually in the end you might be coming into a trap. So, for example, you could be trapped by this demographic, you could be easily trapped into confusion. You can easily become the worker bee on a different plane. So, for example, you've worked in an office all your life, you want to go out and party, or you want to suddenly join a spiritual commune, You're still putting yourself in a box, Virgo. The thing here is to know and perhaps satisfy yourself that nothing is real. Discernment is a must. Though other people are radically different, maybe, or maybe people have radically changed their lives. Maybe people seem to have much more control over their timeline than you. It is not really that appropriate right now to make yourself try to be like someone else who has achieved something, or to not rather copy or mimic another person. So for example, you really love a band, you go to see the band, you dress like the band members, you want to be one of the band, you don't need to conform. And also you might accidentally find closure at the end very abruptly with these types of situations where what you've experienced wasn't true. So you might have done a lot of work for someone, you think that they're your best friend, maybe you think that this group or the situation is going to pay off, and sometimes it is very abruptly ended and somebody just walks out and slams the door, or you are left behind. So especially with packs of people, pack mentality, popularity, pop culture, it is very easy here right now to not be you. And also popular opinions on your life, or popular opinions on your gender, or popular opinions on anything can very, very easily put you in the back rather than in the front of it all. And though you might be feeling very proud and very young and optimistic about things, all of a sudden it's very, very likely that you might be just a driver behind the wheel, just a handbag, just a wingman, instead of actually you. So please don't get stuck into any box. Take your time. One of the greatest things you can offer us during this time is spiritual religious views, maybe topics that you might want to discuss quietly and patiently, and try to become more and more serene and subdued as you go on. And even though you might be part of a very bright or cliquey perspective, or you might be maybe very new, neurologically advanced for yourself, you think, or you might have people that are very radical or strong around you, you might have all the hope and all the ambition in the world, I'd also suggest keep the archaic part of you. Virgo, the hermit, like the archaic part, where you remember every Bible story, maybe, maybe you are say for example, Islam, so like maybe you're of the tradition of Islam, and maybe you remember some things that you really need to recall during this time. Maybe you have Judaic roots, maybe you have Hindu roots, maybe you got something else. You have to maybe try and stay with that archaic energy as well as expanding yourself further, and then in between the two you may find that it's much easier to keep yourself safe, and also make sure that you later in life not pushing any carts up the hill, and you're not doing any work for anybody. And please completely discard situations that require you to work. So for example, you work a job and then you have a friend that wants you to drive you places, or say you have a person who wants you to give them free massages, or somebody that just counts on you to turn up at every gig that they play. Make sure you're not working for pleasure. Does it make sense? It's like you don't have to work hard to keep that girl around. You don't have to work so hard to make people like you. So please keep in touch with you and try to remember who you are through space and time, without making pop culture or popular mentality, part of your future and your past. We are really strengthening here. So make sure that you are not someone else and stay you. So thank you very much, Virgo. Enjoy and don't sell out. Thank you. And if you'd like a card reading, these are going to be on Patreon. Thanks. All the links below. Bye.